Post the financial crisis of 2008, we've seen a number of regulators look to impose new restrictions on financial institutions. This may increase capital ratios on some banks' balance sheets. It will also mean that some derivative trades now have to go into a cleared environment. The implications of, or the convergence even, of Basel III, Dodd-Frank and EMIR means that more high-grade assets, eligible collateral being government bonds, agency bonds, cash and gold, will need to be put aside and pledged as collateral to ensure that these trades are correctly financed. Market experts are expecting that up to $4 trillion of collateral will need to be found and pledged to make sure that these trades are correctly financed at the central clearing houses. This may derive or even generate a shortfall in eligible collateral. Any market participant that holds a over-the-counter trade that now needs to be cleared will be impacted by Dodd-Frank and EMIR. We're going to see initial margin have to be pledged, and this initial margin will have to be in the form of government bonds, agency bonds, cash and gold. About 3 to 4% of each trade will need to be pledged as initial margin, and this is different from the current bilateral world. Our clients are going to have to understand their investment strategies and ensure that they have enough eligible collateral within their portfolios to be able to make sure that they can pledge these assets through to the central clearing houses. Many institutional investors will need access to additional high-grade assets for use within the central clearing system. Our research shows at Northern Trust that our clients will not need access to any additional collateral as we have enough eligible assets within our own portfolios. This gives us an opportunity to be able to lend these assets to other institutions. We're building out an inventory management and optimisation system that will allow us to ensure that our clients' assets are in the right place at the right time and that we've pledged as little asset as possible through to the central clearers but still have a correctly financed trade, which will allow us to free up any available assets to be lent through to other institutional investors who require to borrow them. This is a good opportunity for our clients to be able to make some additional margin on their portfolios with a very small amount of risk, because we're also building out an account structure that will allow these assets to be held within the client's own name as it passes through the global clearing member and into the CCP, so the central clearing house. Liquidity is probably one of the biggest issues facing our clients at this stage within EMIR and Dodd-Frank. It's probably an unintended consequence of the regulations. Our clients will need to find variation margin. Variation margin will have to be paid in cash on a daily basis through to the central clearing houses. Our analysis here at Northern Trust, where we've looked at shocked markets or even just simple rate movements which will impact the price of interest rate swaps and credit default swaps, has indicated that we may have to move hundreds of millions of US dollars on a daily basis to make sure the positions are good. Our clients therefore will have to hold very large proportions or percentages of their investment strategy now in liquid cash in order to make these payments. Northern Trust has analysed its entire interest rate swap positions for each of its clients and has been able to highlight the liquidity requirements that each client will need to find under certain market stresses or rate movements. We're now looking to be able to provide, in effect, a liquidity waterfall. So how will each client make its cash payments on an intraday basis, and where will that cash come from? So some of the cash will come from the client's own accounts, but Northern Trust is helping our clients find liquidity from other sources, whether that be the repo market, whether that be from committed overdrafts, or whether it be from peer-to-peer lending.